everybody.
And welcome to day 28 of Pokémonth.
The final day. What a ride.
Uh-huh. So we're finally here.
About time too.
And this time...
What are we gonna do?
Well, this is about, this is about, archetypes.
Yes.
I've seen... This is about, Pokemon archetypes. Some of these are... some of these are officially recognized.
Recognized in some fashion, either by a name or not. But
others are...
others are just complete fan and jargon. To varying levels.
We'll get on this scale.
We've sort of made like a list of every Pokemon we think counts towards a given type. Given, not type, but like a given category. Like we're here to discuss the ones that people generally consider to be edge cases, at least from my research and what I've heard from people.
Okay, so generally undisputed.
So the first list portion of each list is going to be Pokemon that I have seen little to no argument and shouldn't count for this group. And our first group would be starters.
I think universally this is a...
It's pretty clear which Pokemon are universally considered to be starter Pokemon.
I'm sorry. First partner.
Sorry, first partner Pokemon. TPC really doesn't like people using the word starter because it implies that they're Pokemon that you replace with something better later.
Yeah, it implies that they're like disposable.
Oh, which I don't think anyone was using it like that, like ever. But sure, go off, I guess.
As what it's the this list sort of explains itself.
No, we have Bulbasaur. We have the evolutionary lines of Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Trico, Torchic, Mudkip, Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott, Chespin, Fennec, and Froakie, Rowlet, and Popplio, Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, and now Brout, Pomba on Gekla. So, like, obviously everyone could agree that those are starter Pokemon. But there are, a particular pair that I often see not really grouped with the others. For obvious reasons, of course. They're definitely special cases, because that don't really fit the established triangle. But
they're not starters in the traditional sense.
And that in the games where they are starters, you don't really choose between them and anything else. Those being Pikachu and Eevee. Now, personally, I think we're both on the same page with, like, yeah, these count as starter Pokemon. On even if they're very non-conventional. Oh, but like, I get why they wouldn't generally be included in a lot of people's definition.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, they have to be a grass, fire, water trio.
Uh-huh.
When it's sort of like, I consider those to be the core starters, and then there's like a Pikachu and Eevee, which are the weird edge case starters.
Uh-huh.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is specifically referring to Pikachu and Eevee and not their evolutionary lines, because you can't evolve them.
Pikachu is technically speaking, is a middle stage.
Age. And you can't get its pre-evolution or evolution in either of the games it's a starter in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it refused to evolve, and its pre-evolution straight up doesn't exist in either of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, starters are like a pretty easy one to discuss. But
that's easy.
that's the easy stuff.
Of general consensus. Us can agree. The general consensus is on what a starter is.
But
now let's get into.
Let's start getting into ones where there's a bit more contention.
Early mammals. Those are early route Pokemon.
Yeah. Now, these are... Well, for one, there are some people who seem insistent that only one Pokemon can count out for each of these categories.
Mm-hmm.
He's as evident by the fact that there are people that either don't think Inkadarks I should be included as a part of in part of any archetype, or there are people who only think that there can be one regional mammal, one early mammal per region.
Now you're seeing where we're getting. Now you see what we're getting into.
Because, like, I don't think there's any contention whatsoever that Rattata, Sentret, Zigzagoon, and Bidoof count out for this group. And, like, from what I've seen, people generally seem to agree on Patrat, Bunnelby, Yungoos, Squabbit, and Lechonk as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but then we get into the weird ones. There were, and I hear Lillipup and Wooloo sort of get disregarded by the people who think there can only be one regional mammal. When evidently that is...
They fit the build?
Like, they fit the build pretty well. They're early on in the Pokedex. You catch them very early in the game.
You catch them before your first gym?
And before your first gym. They're even... And, like... They're statistically, I guess you could argue that maybe Stoutland is too strong for one of these Pokemon, but also I don't see people arguing Obstagoon shouldn't count.
I don't see... Yeah.
So why can't Stoutland?
Uh-huh. And
that's it. What if that's just how 3 stages work in this case?
Well, look, these guys, there's no clear... These guys have never, like, had a consistent... stat at spread.
Mm-hmm.
I get consistent stat total.
And then there's Tandemaus, who I've recently discovered a lot of people don't even seem to think it counts for its own reason of being technically after the tutorial, and also just being too weird. I've seen that mentioned at least once.
Uh-huh.
And which, like, personally, I don't really think that is super relevant. Like, we're talking about the same generation where the commonly accepted early mammal has a gender based like evolves into a different form with different stats and a different ability based on its gender.
Yeah.
I don't think a Pokemon being able to evolve without all on its own without you looking at it is enough of a departure, or for it to not count at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it does still fit the archetype of being like small, cute mammal Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of them are like brown.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to color territory.
Like Bunnelby has some brown on it, but
that's mostly gray.
It's mostly gray. And then Wooloo, I feel like Wooloo is black and white. If Wooloo can be a mainly white Pokemon and still it'll count as a regional mammal, then why I can't tandem.
Don't tell me you were bringing color into this.
Yeah. But like everybody is like, you catch it like literally, but you're able to catch it adjacent to the town, the tutorial city, pretty much. Like as soon as you get to Mesa Goza, you could just sort of head west, I think.
Also, where's this again? What counts as early game at SV?
In an open world game, I'd argue places you're intended. I'd argue it's like, like, would you really count? Not count this as early game when you're still. This is accessible well before you're close to actually completing any objectives.
Technically, the tutorial doesn't end until you actually get the tutorial in OSB doesn't end until you get at the lizard.
Pretty much.
That's how probably most people would see it.
Wait, can you go to the Pokemon League before that too?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure nothing's stopping you.
Oh, so you don't even need to actually complete the tutorial to get these guys.
I know you're just stopped there.
You can get them right at the end of the tutorial. Yes, they're at a different point than...
yeah, you're just not allowed access.
Yes, they're at a different point than... these guys are at a different point than Lechonk, but if I recall correctly, I think Squavit, Oven, and Wooloo are staggered as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think they're on the same...
Like, I actually think you get to catch Wooloo before you can catch Squavit.
Uh-huh.
So, like... Yeah. So like, I think I've made a case for why I think those normal type Pokemon, those 3 normal types should count. Now, what about the others, the dark types?
The 3 of them.
Now, previously, I'd considered early dark type to be its own archetype.
But that's way too small.
But when it counts as, when it's 3 Pokemon that are admittedly very similar to both each other, but also what we've been calling regional mammals or early mammals, it's like, oh, well, I guess as we can add the asterisk of normal and sometimes dark type.
Because Zigzagoon also falls under that.
Mm-hmm.
Under the cat.
Well, both Zigzagoon and Rattata as regional forms are still normal type.
Yeah.
Like, which was the logic I was operating under.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess that does kind of imply that these 2 types are sort of linked in that way. I guess it does make sense with normal originally being super effective against dark and early builds of gold and silver.
Yeah.
Like, there's already a notable link between those types. So, yeah, I think Poochyena, Purloin, and Nickit should count.
Yeah, already seen some, a lot of stuff that's that isn't really agreed on there.
Surely the next category will be less contentious. Oh,
come on.
Well, it's less contentious, but it's still pretty contentious.
Early birds.
So, I think, okay, like the Pokemon I know everyone seems to agree count for the category of early birds are Pidgey, Hoot, Tailo, Starly, Pidove, Fletchling, Pikipek, and Rookidee.
Yeah, that's generally agreed on. But then there is the case of the secondary early birds.
And there are a few regions that actually seem to have 3 of these. No, there are 3 regions that seem to have 2 of these. Namely, Kanto, Hoenn, and Paldea.
We have Spiro and Kanto.
Because like, come on, like like the game like pretty much sets it up to be like the edgier counterpart to Pidgey.
The one you find and on the one you find
and off the beaten path.
On the optional route.
Beaten path that you still access before entering your first dungeon. In a Viridian Forest. So like, I'd argue it still counts because it's still very beginning game.
Yeah, still very, very.
You haven't really truly exited the tutorial of the game until you've beaten Brock. In the Kanto games. So
and so yeah, Spiro should count out there.
And then in Hoenn we have Wingull.
Also something you find super early. It also something you can catch like before the first gym.
In Wingull's case, it's like pretty much it's like as prevalent into the iconography of the Hoenn region and as the Rookadi Inus to Gal or the Fletchling Inus to Kalos.
How I'd argue it's more.
I'd argue Wingull is like the Hoenn Pokemon.
On more than on. It's also like one of the first made.
Yeah,
and the first added to the game.
I'd argue Wingull has more of a presence in the game than Tailo does.
Wingull and Pelipper.
The Wingull line have more presence than the Tailo line.
You save a Wingull.
Like, does Briney's Darling Pico not matter to any of you? I get Pelipper's a dopey-looking Pokemon, but
look, we don't try to we're not trying to discriminate here
based on how these guys look.
We're not discriminating by appearance. And so,
trust me, if we were you, or we'd make it known.
No. Wingull is I'd say Wingull like fucking counts more than would arguably count like more than Tailo.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd say Wingull feels more or fitting than Tailo, but like Tailo does also meet the criteria. So.
The thing is, with birds, there's no. I think also evolutionary stages is also a thing that isn't really that consistent.
As early as Gen 2, like, even if you didn't want to count Spiro in Gen 1, it's 2 stage, which, like, for one, these archetypes haven't been established. I'd argue, funnily enough, that until Gen 4, you could genuinely make a case that Pidgey shouldn't count because it's not a 2-stage line.
Yeah.
But then Starly came along.
Yeah. Speaking of evolutionary stages,
Paldea has
there's no agreement
as to what.
From what he's seen, there's no consensus
as to whether Paldea has 1 or 2 regional birds, or even which of the 2,
or even having one at all.
I think most people agree that it has one, but has at least one. But people can't seem to agree which one it is, or whether both of them should count. For one, there's Squawkabilly, who is a normal flying type that comes in right after the starters in the regional Pokedex.
And you can also like catch it.
And there's one that's like right on top of your house, I think, that you can catch at the very start of the game. But the main point of so why wouldn't this thing count? Well, the main point of contention I hear from people is that it has no evolutionary relatives.
Oh yeah, we're pulling that card.
Which, look, this is the same game where our the first Pika to get our first Pika clone or whatever. We'll get to that. That can evolve. if we're allowing Pokemon that evolve and Pokemon that don't evolve in that group, like why wouldn't we do the same for this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we already have both 2 and 3 stage lines and lines as early birds.
Mm-hmm.
So was a single stage really that weird to include with that context? It's certainly comparable in power to some of the weaker ones in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, so that shouldn't be an issue.
As for Wattrel,
I've heard people argue Wattrel is encountered too late. Well, if I recall correctly, you can catch it along the shoreline if you can get it to come close enough of an early game. And also, like, the game clearly wants to frame Wattrel as this as the regional bird of Paldea, with how you see him like flying around in the opening. So like, I feel as though it's fair to count Wattrel and Squawkabilly as both part of this group. So, yeah, I think I rest my case on the regional birds. I think Spearow, Wingull, Squawkabilly, and Wattrel should all count in addition to the ones people generally agree on.
Now early bugs.
This one is okay, admittedly much less contentious, but I have at least heard some sort. I have at least heard a case for or some Pokemon that I personally don't think really you should be counted. But let's first go over the ones that pretty much everyone seems to agree count. There's Caterpie, Weedle, Ledybos, Spinarak, Wurmple, Kricketot, Suwaddle, Venipede, Scatterbug, Grubbin, Blipbug, Tarantula, and Nimble.
Oh, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Quick side note about Gen 5.
Yeah.
Is that,
well,
these guys are interesting because I've heard people say they feel really weird in this group, but they count anyways because Gen 5 doesn't have any.
You can't catch any bug types before until you beat the second gem.
Yeah, the bug type is inaccessible until you beat Lenora on Black and White. And the very first bug types you do get access to are Suwaddle and Venipede.
It's probably because these are ones you actually want to keep long term.
Or like Leavanny and Scolipede are actually good team members to have. Meanwhile, like, I don't think Ledian's ever really going to be helping you out.
Fucking Cricketone.
Your Cricketune is good at nothing.
Those are the first bugs you get access to.
So they count as Unova's early bugs, as in they are the earliest.
If we change that definition a little,
which, like, in Unova's case, you kind of have to.
Yeah. The earliest point you get a bug, you can
catch a new bug type.
Yes, if we just change that definition a little.
Yeah, Unova should absolutely count. Now, Paldea is interesting because, you catch these two at different points, but they are both early.
There doesn't seem to be any disagreement on that one.
I think it's weird that people are willing to count Nimble as a regional bug, but not Tandemaus as a regional mammal, despite Nimble being catchable after Tandemaus. Like, if I recall correctly, you first are able to find it on the path to Artisan. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit strange.
And
But then we get into a trio of Pokemon. I think
some people count.
And like I was on the fence on for a while, but like I heard someone put it into phrasing of like yeah, this feels more like its own thing.
More like its own thing.
In Cutie Fly was what sparked me to start up an actual conversation about the early bugs. Bugs. Now in the case of Cutie Fly, there is a case to be argued that, well, anything you catch on Melee should be considered early because of how it was clearly divided into segments.
You can catch it as early as Route 2.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't really feel like it's part of the same group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for one, Ribombee is just significantly better spec'd than a lot of early bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And also just... It doesn't feel like it's part of the same group, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to quantify, but I bet Ribombee just feels a little weird next to all these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's clearly going for its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the honey tree encounters.
The honey tree encounters from Gen 4. I was also considering, because I was like, well, if Cutie Fly counts, why wouldn't Burmy and Combee count?
Now, these are even more specific. These are even more specific.
Because you don't even encounter them in the grass. You encounter them through honey tree, but you do encounter them before your second gem. And like, what's the cutoff point?
Mm-hmm.
And why does encounter method matter?
Mm-hmm. But I think we
came to a consensus that I don't think Cutie Fly should count, and therefore neither should Combee and Burmy.
They're doing their own things.
Burmy has the weird your location-based form gimmick, and it can in 7 out of 8 Combee it can't evolve at all.
Mm-hmm. Also, for consistency's sake,
I don't think any of those 3 should count.
No. The next up we got.
No, I've heard multiple terms for them.
Pika clone owns Eek Pouch.
Electric pouch Pokemon.
Pouch Pokemon.
On electric rodents. When none of those I feel accurately describe the group in a clean manner.
So we got a new term.
The Pika Club. That's what I'm calling them.
Yeah, the Pika Club.
Now, I think Pikachu, Raichu, and Pichu, like, they're the OGs. Obviously, they count. This is the OG evolutionary line. Now, I've listed all 3 members of the line separately because I have actually heard a tiny bit of contention on whether the Pikachu should count as a Pika clone or whether its evolution should even count as being in the same group. When it's like, I feel like if they're literally related to Pikachu, like, in terms of game mechanics, I think it's fair to count them. And then there's the obvious ones that pretty much everyone agrees on. Nobody disputes Plusle, Minun, Pachirisu, Emolga, Dedenne, Togedemaru, Morpeko, or Palmy. But there are some Pokemon that are disputed. 2 that I want to mention particularly. And this is a rare case where I think one of them should count and the other shouldn't.
Meryl.
I don't think Meryl should count as the Pika clone or the Pika Club. I know, controversial opinion. Meryl was like, yeah, I know. The fans called it Pika Blue when it was first.
Yeah, fucking, and the fucking Topps card trading card.
There's a localization team that took the fan term Pika Blue and used it
for the first movie.
For the first movie's promotion.
Oops.
But that doesn't make it official. like in the sense that that's what was intended by this Pokemon's creators.
It just it doesn't it just doesn't fit.
Like, the most I've heard is that it started out as a 2-stage line, its introductory generation, then got a baby form the next generation. Which, why does that specifically count toward Meryl?
That's like a lot of Gen 1 mons.
Yeah, which, like, and also, like, why are we specifically counting this as a point for Meryl being part of this group when historically it wasn't until Generation 9 where we actually got any that had evolutionary relatives. It was at all.
I know.
Oh, it's like so weird. Like Meryl isn't even designed in a way where it's like, oh, that's clearly trying to resemble Pikachu.
No, it ain't.
It's just a small rodent like Pokemon. It's just a small mouse Pokemon. Not explicitly trying to be Pikachu. Like, I do think maybe they wanted it to serve or was Generation 2 who's mascot in that way.
I guess.
At least for a time, but it's evident. It's become increasingly evident over the years to me that Meryl doesn't really.
At least like before Gen 2 released, East in the West.
At least in the pre-release,
yeah, it's pre-release.
It's become increasingly clear to me over time that it's like they don't seem to want Meryl to be part of this same group of Pokemon.
What?
Now for a Pokemon that I think should count, Mimikyu, because it's literally in universe trying to be Pikachu. Like I think Meryl. If my point towards Meryl not counting was that it has no actual relation to Pikachu in or out of universe, or then Mimikyu definitely should count. Yeah, again, it's literally dressing up as Pikachu, and from what I've heard, it's sometimes even grouped with the commonly accepted members of this group.
Yeah, they like official promotional material
and a lot of promotional material and such. So, like, even officially, Mimikyu seems to be recognized as part of the group. At least sometimes. I think that's enough for me to consider Mimikyu, even if it isn't an electric type like all the others.
All right.
And now for one of what was for the longest time I'm a pretty uncontroversial group. And then Indigo Disc happened. Pseudo legendaries.
Or
as their official term is
powerhouse Pokemon.
Which what? And then there's the Japanese term of the 600 Club.
Which generally categorizes as any non-legendary, either the BST of 600.
Yeah, any non-legendary who has a permanent or with a base stat total of 600. So not counting stuff like megas and form changes.
As this will be more on that later.
And previously, these lines had all shared pretty much the same traits. They have 3 stages. They have 3 stages, and there is 600 BST in their final stage. Age and are in the slow growth rate, like the majority of legendaries. Is the growth rate thing, not the others. They also have low catch rates and the
the low catch rate thing.
No, that's not really consistent. Actually,
I don't think that's consistent.
Beldum was uniquely low,
because you couldn't catch it. It couldn't be caught in its original game.
So what's the issue? The issue is Archaludon.
Archaludon.
When this thing debuted, I like obviously pre-release we didn't know what its stats were, so obviously nobody was really talking about it in that regard. But after Indigo Disc dropped, suddenly people were debating whether or not Archaludon should count as a pseudo legendary. Because it fits some of the criteria, but not all of them.
Well,
namely, what I think is the most
if it's
important.
one of the three criteria.
If it's one of the three criteria, and I'd argue the single most important criteria of having of being a non-legendary, non-temporary form change with 600 with a base stat total of 600.
Yeah, because you see, our Archaludon's a 2-state. It is in the medium fast growth.
Which, like, I feel like that feels pedantic to me. Like, I don't know if I'm weird for that, but like, why should the growth rate even matter? Fun fact: there are a handful. I know most legendaries are in the slow growth rate, but there are a handful of growth rate in the medium slow growth rate. So like
like the
like a few mythicals, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, so like
the Mew clones.
Yeah, like Mew and its
the fairies.
The legend, the mythicals with base 100 in every stat. Which I don't think there needs to be a debate about, because like it's pretty self-explanatory what counts there.
Yeah. Yeah, those are in medium slow.
Mm-hmm. My take is that, like, the main reason people coined the term pseudo legendary is that these Pokemon are at a power level that is pretty much only reached by legendaries. He's outside of them, and Archaludon reaches that same power level. Oh, so why should it not count?
But it also doesn't evolve by level up.
Because it doesn't evolve by level up, or it grows a little faster than the other.
It grows much faster.
Grows much faster than the others. It doesn't have a baby stage. Like this feels pedantic to me. Like, none of these other groups have absolutely any stipulations about evolutionary stages. Is I guess except you could argue starters. Because most of the more base starters are 3-stage lines, but even then Eevee exists. Just if we're getting into more broad territory. So like, I have yet to be fully convinced by any argument and as to why Archaludon shouldn't and have the title of pseudo legendary.
Well, you see, it's not grouped together.
I know.
Officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not grouped together. It didn't get its own 7-star event.
Well, for one, I think they're wrong, and two, why I would have gotten a 7-star event, and they don't do those for DLC Pokemon.
Yeah, you're right.
I think where I am is like, why would they make this a base 600 at BST e-signature Pokemon of an Elite Four member?
Right, yeah, that too. That's also
a common trend for a lot of these guys.
For most of them.
For most of them, most of them appear.
Or by a elite member of the.
Most of them appear are on the team of an Elite Four or member or champion.
And in the case of Lance, it's both.
Yes. Like Dragonite's used by Lance. Tyranitar. Okay, well, it's not used in Gen 2, even though it arguably should have been. Like why does Karen not have a Tyranitar? But
You're
But in Gen 3 in Fire Red and Leaf Green,
and your rival all has as a Tyranitar on his rematch team. Salamence is used by Drake.
Metagross is used by Steven. Garchomp's used by Cynthia. Hydreigion's not used by
Hydreigion's used by Iris.
Oh, Iris, yeah. Black 2, White 2. Yeah,
it's in Black and White too. Hydreigion's used by Iris.
This and is also pretty much the final boss Pokemon on a Black and White. I being Gatis' ace.
Goodra is on Diantha's team. Como is...
Does Hala not have a Como?
No.
Como is a weird exception.
Leon
has a Dragapult.
Well, you see, Como can be used. Can be used by a title defense.
I mean, I guess
if you want to count that.
Yeah, and then and there's a. And then Excalibur's used by Hassel. So all of them except arguably Tyranitar are in Como appear you're on a league member's team.
And
Drayton's ace is Archaludon. So like they clearly want it to be something on that power level.
And also he's like, and also being like the
highest ranking Elite Four member, former champion.
And yeah, it has they wanted to have of that status.
It's clearly like they gave it a BST of 600. They don't just give that out to Pokemon.
That doesn't just happen.
And I feel like that's a noteworthy enough trait that that it's worth including it with the other Pokemon that have that distinction.
And I think this and so remember how I mentioned the 600 club.
Yeah, which is the Japanese term for this, which has pretty much just that stipulation.
That's just the stipulation.
Which, like, I think makes a lot more sense than having growth rate and evolutionary stages be a part of the equation.
And so,
like, growth rate is mostly but not entirely consistent with legendaries, and most legendaries also don't evolve at all. Oh, there is only like a handful of them with evolutionary relatives.
And that's from like the past, and that's only from like the past, almost the past decade.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't start doing that till Gen 7.
And so, yeah, Archaludon, we consider Archaludon as part of this club.
Now, before we get into actual legendaries, I briefly want to have a tangent about the most bizarre fan term
that that does not exist.
Like,
is not officially recognized.
In any capacity.
It is like purely a vibes-based thing.
Semi-pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Half-fake legendaries. What?
Well, first of all, yeah, that term is extremely stupid. It's an extremely stupid term. I mean, second... And
what the fuck counts for this?
At the very least, pseudos have some consistent pattern.
And like it seems to be a very intentional design thing in with their existence. And then you have this whole semi-pseudo classification where we're like, it's pretty much just any Pokemon that people have mistaken for a legendary or pseudo-legendary. I've heard a variety of Pokemon be considered as part of this group, including Flygon, Lucario, and Volcarona. What in the world do any of those Pokemon have in common?
Yeah, I think list I did say.
Yes.
It included
along with Zoroark and Haxorus. And Noivern.
Arcanine. Kingdra.
Fucking Kingdra? Are we just counting any three-stage line that ends in a dragon?
Slacking. Agron.
Why Agron?
Well, it looks like one.
That's what I say. You can't just have an entire classification
based on fucking vibes.
Based solely on vibes.
You can't do that.
Yeah, like there's absolutely no common thread between all of these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have Kingdra, Noivern, Lucario, Volcarona, Flygon, and Arcanine all in the same category. Like what are we doing here? What?
This is not a real. It'll be a cold day in hell before I ever recognize semi-pseudo as a valid term.
Because like I've heard, because like evidently whenever I hear this term come up, I can't. Nobody. Everyone's list is entirely different.
And it's
like maybe a few common threads. There's like, oh yeah, I think Noivern's one of these. Oh yeah, I think Arcanine's one of these. Yeah, I think Kingdra should count.
And
it's like, what? Like that's the thing. There's no clearly defined. There's no metric to go off of here.
It's purely vibes. That's it. I
think it's fine to say you think there are some Pokemon who are like legendary adjacent, who like feel like they should be legendaries.
Sure, like Volcarona.
Like, yeah, I get what you mean there, but also like, are we really trying to make this an actual category?
Are we?
A Pokemon that feel like they should be legendaries or pseudo legendaries? Is because again that's like a very opinion based.
It's like insanely subjective.
It's like an incredibly subjective category, to the point where like my main thing is it's hardly useful at all as a category.
It doesn't do anything. And labeling it. Oh wow. Oh cool. You label. Oh cool. Lucario's a semi pseudo legendary.
What does this tell me about Lucario?
What does that mean? What deeper meaning?
Meanwhile, if you say, "Oh, yeah, that's an early bug Pokemon," I'm like, "Okay, you catch this thing. It probably evolves fairly early. Like it's a bug type you can catch early in the game. Name is probably going to be outclassed by other bug types later or on." Except for Vivian, because there are no other bug types later on. and you see what I mean? It's like there are things to
there's consistency.
You with these guys. And you say something's a pseudo legendary. It's like, oh, this thing's gonna be super strong once it's fully evolved. Something like semi pseudo has like no use case. It's like, oh boy, I can't wait to see what Generation 10 semi pseudo legendary is. Like, what the fuck does that tell you about that?
What does it mean?
Like, that could mean anything.
It's a fucking it's less than worthless.
Yes, it's just actively a confusing term,
and that sort of just contradicts itself. Also, no, I do not recognize. Sorry, I don't recognize semi-pseudo as a valid term.
Because, like, what are we doing here?
We don't have a vibes-based class.
That's what is the goal here?
Do a fucking vibes-based archetype.
Anyways, now for the final two categories. I'll start with mythical.
Oh, that's easier to define.
Mythical Pokemon are typically considered to be Pokemon who are obtained and only via connections with the external media, not counting DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cannot be obtained outside of the base game, a more DLC. Yeah, in their home generation. Which, the in their home generation thing was pretty much added, much something people decided to include in the definition after ORAS.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, then, that was the first time it became less clear cut what a mythical was.
Because as well, Deoxys could be obtained. Yep, Deoxys could be obtained in the end of the Delta episode.
If anyone with a fresh save file of anyone with a cartridge of Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire can catch their own Deoxys anytime, so long as their cartridge works and they have the hardware to play it on.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Deoxys is still considered a mythical? So then people added on, well, it wasn't like that in its debut generation, so that's what we're going off of.
Yes.
And like, for the next 3 gens, people were somewhat, like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then Gen 9 happens.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I was saying what Gen 8.
Well, I know, because like, Gen 8 did the same thing with Keldea. And then Gen and 9 did this with Meloetta. But that's my main thing is like, what makes Iron Leaves and Walking Wake not mythical Pokemon? They're not permanently obtainable in the base game of Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
You don't unlock them with DLC.
Uh-huh.
They're only available through limited time wireless events.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they not mythicals? Do we now have to tack on another stipulation that they can't already belong to another or special classification of Pokemon like Paradox? Like, does legendary override the Paradox definition, but not mythical? And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because we have because these guys are based on legendaries. Caridon and Miraidon are not based on legendaries, but they are legendaries.
Not in universe.
Not in universe, I guess. Or they're just considered weird Cyclizar.
Fucking mutant Cyclizar.
Or so like mythicals. And then of course we also have Pecharunt, who is even significantly more readily available than Walking Wake and Iron Leaves.
Which has, it just has it as a event with no event item with no end date.
Where it's like all you have to do is connect. As long as you're able to connect to the internet on your Nintendo Switch, you can get Pecharunt.
Mm-hmm.
And as far back as Gen 7, actually...
Yeah, we had Magearna obtainable with a QR code.
You just scan a QR code, and once per save file, you'll get a Magearna the first time you scan it.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes Magearna mythical? Well, it was obtained through external means. But Pecharunt and Walking Wake and Iron Leaves all feel significantly less external than Magearna.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the fact that Pecharunt is the most available of the 3, and that one is the only one considered a mythical. Like, what? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Uh-huh.
And that raises the question: do mythicals count as legendaries?
Now this is already a debate. This is already a point of contention in itself.
Because I think officially mythicals are counted as a separate thing from legendaries,
and not a subsect. Not a different type of legendaries. They're a type of legendary.
which effectively means like Keldeo and the sword and the other swords of justice are considered or to be part of completely different groups. And Cresselia and Darkrai are not in the same group.
Petrarunt and the Loyal Three are not in the same group.
Like, why are mythicals not considered a type of legendary?
Yeah, you and Mewtwo aren't in the same group.
Yeah, like why wouldn't mythicals be considered or a type of legendary when a good chunk of mythicals have direct ties to legendaries? He's like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, why wouldn't they not be? Would they not be a type of legendary Pokemon?
Yeah. So yeah, mythical. Yes, what separates a mythical from a legendary?
Yeah, which is yeah. There's the whole thing that we just mentioned.
Everything we just mentioned.
But in more recent games, we have many mythicals that for all intents and purposes in gameplay function as regular legendary Pokemon.
Yep. Right, such as.
Namely, Deoxys, Keldeo, and Meloetta.
Hey, did you forget about...
And then Legend Z to A happened.
Did you forget about Manaphy and Arceus?
Oh, yeah, and Manaphy.
Manaphy and Fiona, Legends Arceus.
Yeah, and Manaphy.
Because, you don't need save data for those.
You just need information.
You just need
to know what to do, which you're supposed to get the hints from BDSP, but it's not... The game doesn't... There's no direct barrier blocking you from accessing Manaphy as long as you know how to access Manaphy.
It's not so you can also just look it up.
And of course, then there's the game's very fucking mascot, Arceus. This who is considered a mythical.
Yes, right, yeah. What I guess another subsect.
And also with mythicals. And then we have Legend Z to A.
What is this? It's a mythical bargain sale?
Let's see. You've got you can get a hold of.
You can get the Diane site with no. The Diane site has no end date.
Yeah, Diane site. Yeah, you can catch. You can get Diane with no end date. So this is like on the same tier as Petrarunt.
But then there's Mega Dimension.
And where as long as you have the DLC, which need I remind you, being locked behind DLC is not enough for a Pokemon to be counted as a mythical. Otherwise, we'd be considering Cubfu a mythical. Which it has never been referred to as such. And if you have the DLC, you can just kind of casually get a hold of Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect,
Tupa, Volcanion,
and Magearna, Marshadow, Zeraora, Meltan, Melmetal.
Darkrai being part of the fucking main story.
Like, what is the genuine distinction here?
Yeah, Darkrai is a required capture for the main story.
What makes these guys mythicals?
Argue fucking yeah.
How do they count as a different thing from legendaries? Like, genuinely at this point, it's just whatever Game Freak says is mythical.
Think about fucking Darkrai. It's always been weird as a mythical.
Which, like, evidently, according to the beta, it was just a roamer like Cresselia.
Yeah, it also had roaming data.
Presumably, they decide...
Which was cut pretty late, since it's still functional.
Presumably, he became a mythical later, or very late in development, because they want...
to promote a movie.
Because they want it one more year of movies. These for Gen 4.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
And they wanted to tie Darkrai, and they needed something else to tie to a movie.
We need them, we need mythicals to advertise. We need mythicals to advertise movies. is because this wasn't at the we weren't at the point of them making mythical specifically for movies.
Movies just yet.
Uh,
But they did make Darkrai a mythical for movies.
uh-huh.
Despite it not being conceived as one. Like, of course, obviously mythicals are subject to pretty much the same design philosophies as legendaries.
Uh-huh.
Obviously there's like the little pixie archetype that's mostly unique to mythicals.
Mm-hmm. Almost all of them have a BST of 600.
Yeah, but then you have stuff like Darkrai, who for all intents and purposes is why is this categorized as something different than Heatran or Cresselia?
Keldeo kind of just breaks that, having a BST of 580.
Keldeo has the same BST as the other Swords of Justice, and is spec'd in such a way where it perfectly fills in the gaps that the other three left.
Mm-hmm.
Which begs the question:
What counts as a mythical?
And hey, I have a better question.
What counts as a fucking legendary? This was the original catalyst for the video. It was initially.
What is a legendary Pokemon? What even is a legendary Pokemon anymore?
This used to be a very cut and dry answer. There used to be a very cut and dry answer.
Or to this?
It's only one per game.
Yeah, you have a limited you get a limited quantity per game. Well, previously it was one per game.
Uh-huh.
You get one per game of the species, and you cannot make more of them by breeding.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a particularly high stat threshold.
So anywhere from 580 to 690.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, the stats and the exclusivity were enough to define them for a good few generations. In Generation 1, it was like, well, yeah, the only Pokemon that are both exclusive in quantity and reach these power thresholds are Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo, and Mew.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Gen 2, it was much the same. It was
basically pretty much the exact same archetype.
Except now how the power thing it didn't even matter. Because you could just say, oh, well, any other Pokemon can be duplicated by breeding.
And yep.
Or in the case of mons like Ditto or Unknown, you can just catch them.
Uh-huh. We'll get... We'll
circle back to this.
As Gen 3 it continued much the same. Although I guess if we want to talk about like in-game appearances,
What?
Is we do start to slip here.
You were the legendaries?
Yeah.
In what way?
With like the frontier brains.
Oh yeah, because they use them, but that still doesn't change the fact that the player is limited to one per save file.
Yes.
Well, then you get a legendary.
Yeah.
And this trend continues for many years.
Manaphy being a weird
case, which is also a mythical, so but also you still can only get one per Pokemon Ranger
copy.
Physical copy.
One per copy.
Yeah, yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the sensible thing
and
making Manaphy limited to one per or save file of a Gen 4 Pokemon game, it's limited to one per cartridge of a Pokemon Ranger.
Once per copy.
Yes, which means if you get a used copy of Pokemon Ranger, there's like a greater than 90% chance that you can't get a Manaphy from it.
We've many have gone over this.
It's incredibly stupid how they handled this.
Alex wasted an entire week.
He tried to play through the original Pokemon Ranger.
He beat the fucking game.
Absolute mess of a game, by the way. Hey, and the person who on this game before me, he claimed Manaphy, so I wasn't able to get one.
That's how you learned at fucking age 11.
That it was
once per copy.
Why in the hell is it once per copy? What does this accomplish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it keeps you from duplicating a bunch of Manaphy's. Then what's stopping someone from, I don't know.
The Coliseum bonus disc.
Yeah.
It's good. You could spawn infinite Jirachi.
Was it even once per save file, or is
I
it?
think once per save file.
Yeah, once per save.
Once per Gen 3.
Once per Gen 3 save. Why
once
didn't
per
they?
RS file.
Why didn't they do that with Pokemon Ranger?
Once per file and once per file on Ruby and for Ruby and Sapphire. Your Sapphire.
Why did they handle the Coliseum bonus disc just fine, but Pokemon Ranger only lets you do it once per cartridge?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Without enforcing any limit on Gen 4 save files. That's completely backwards.
Or in the Japanese version, or the Japanese version, and see in the bonus disc is Celebi.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, but Celebi / Jirachi.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Coliseum bonus disc.
Just what?
And yeah, Manaphy can you can use Manaphy to get a Fiona.
Yes,
who in turn can Fiona, despite currently feeling like a baby Pokemon,
cannot evolve into Manaphy.
And also, it can breed with Ditto.
Yes, Manaphy, as I have learned, is not a baby Pokemon.
Yeah, Fiona.
Now, Fiona, well, Manaphy isn't either, but yeah, Fiona, as I've learned, is not a baby Pokemon. It's in the, Water 3 egg group, I think.
Yeah, which is why Manaphy can also breed.
Mm-hmm. Manaphy has an egg group.
That's not undiscovered, as it isn't in the undiscovered egg group.
So you can't define a legendary by being in the undiscovered egg group now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having any relative. We're having a relative that's in the undiscovered egg group.
Yeah, Gen 4 started to muddy that with Manaphy.
But hey, I think
Fiona.
I think the sensible conclusion would be Manaphy is a mythical legendary, and Fiona is a mythical but not a legendary.
Fiona, I think, as we've learned from leaks,
is considered internally to be a pseudo mythical Pokemon.
It's intentionally vague.
Fiona is intentionally vague.
Actually, I think there was even discussion of whether they should not label Deoxys as a mythical.
Really?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that we learned that too.
Yeah, they were with ORAS.
Yeah, the ORAS. I was wondering if they were. I think they were wondering if Deoxys should
still count as a mythical.
All higher ups insisted, and it should. It still should
because they don't want to change the classification.
And then Fiona is saying that's right. And Fiona is its own special case.
It's because you need a mythical to obtain it, but it itself can be gotten infinitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, there was one edge case.
Everything proceeds as normal in Generation 5 and 6. And then we reach Generation 7.
Where suddenly
you can no longer use the once per save file excuse.
Also, another thing. Can't evolve, doesn't have any evolutionary relatives.
Well, now legendaries can evolve.
All with the case of Cosmog and Type Null.
Yes.
But there's still limited quantity.
Even if you can
still get
even if you can get 2 Cosmogs, there's
technically 2 Cosmogs.
If you can get 2 Solgaleo or Lunala, then you can still say a legendaries are limited quantity instead of just one.
And only one type null.
Yeah, and only one type null.
Okay.
And then Generation 8, this remains.
Oh wait, no, stop at Gen 7.
No wait, and then
because we also had Meltan,
which is a mythical that you can get infinite of in Let's Go.
And also, through connecting to Pokemon, and also
which
can evolve.
So
mythicals can evolve now.
Not in the main series, of course, because Meltan has to have that stupid evolution method.
Yeah,
it can only evolve in Pokemon Go. Sure.
But either way. Oh wait, Gen 7. We have Let's Go. But then we reach Let's Go.
And suddenly,
Well,
the last bastion of legendary definition no longer applies.
Because when you beat the game and you can you can fly.
You walk the ability to soar,
or with any
with any suitable
like any Charizard or Dragonite.
Like any Charizard, Pidgeot, or Dragonite. Any large flying Pokemon.
Where you can find sky encounters.
Like the legendary birds.
Dragonites, Pidgeots, Sphero.
Articuno. Zapdos. Moltres.
Wait. No.
Cool. You can catch a second one.
Wait.
Wait, why are there two of... Oh no.
They're just rare spawns.
Now you can get infinite legendary birds in the same save file. There is no limit to how many of these you can find.
Oh, it's great for shiny hunting.
I won't deny that.
You can chain them.
But this is terrible for whatever the fuck the definition of a legendary Pokemon is now.
Because you can just catch multiple in the same game.
Yes. Let me ask you this.
Riddle me this.
Why are Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres legendary Pokemon, but not Goldengo? Or Ditto? Or Unknown? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not like we can and just say, oh, well, they have to have been limited quantity in their own generation. Because then that makes every generation one starter or a legendary. And Lapras, and Porygon, and Eevee, and Jinx, and Lickitung in red and green.
Yeah, red and blue.
Red and blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, like the power thing doesn't matter or anymore, because there are Pokemon that are stronger than that reach these thresholds.
Mm-hmm.
Breeding doesn't matter. Manaphy's not in the undiscovered egg group, and you can't say it just can't produce more of itself by breeding, because that also includes the aforementioned Unknown, Ditto, and Gimmighoul.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and yeah, again, you can't retroactively add the power thing in.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you say final stage,
Mm-hmm.
because none then there are Pokemon that fit other criteria. And again, it can't be a power threshold because pseudo legendaries exist.
Mm-hmm.
And Pokemon like Palafin exist, and Terapagos exists where its base form is weaker than or than some regular Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
For fuck's sake, Urshifu is on the same. I believe Urshifu and Arcanine have the same BST.
Yeah, 550.
Yeah, no, Arcanine's 555.
555. Yeah.
Urshifu is.
Arcanine's 555.
Arcanine is stronger than Urshifu in terms of base stats.
That's Blood Moon or Saluna has that same BST.
Yeah, blood.
There's also only one.
There's only one of those, and you can create more of it by breeding, and it has a high BST. It has a BST higher than Urshifu.
Is that a legendary?
Well, no, it's not a legendary because Ursaluna isn't a legendary. So, but. And then like you can't quantify it. Yeah, and now if legendaries aren't limited quantity anymore, then what are they?
What are they?
What counts as a rigid definition for a legendary Pokemon that includes Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, but excludes Ditto, Unknown, and Gimmighoul? Yeah,
This is what sparked the video. This is what sparked this topic.
Because the fact that you could catch infinite legendary birds is just...
But we still count those as legendaries.
And, well, you can catch infinite Goldengo. That's a strong Pokemon. That can't reproduce through breeding. This thing has some sort of special significance and is grouped with legendary. He's in the Pokedex. X. Why isn't that a legendary? You see what I mean? It's like, at this point, there is no cohesion. And now, unless there's some like special mechanic that only, unless there's some special mechanic that only accounts for a specific Pokemon, then like, yeah. Like, yeah, there's nothing separating these now. You can't point to any one like trait or specific combination of traits that can define a legendary Pokemon now. Unless it's like, oh, it has to be above a certain threshold and cannot produce more of itself by breeding. So are we saying all of the Ultra Beasts and Paradox Pokemon are legendaries now?
Well, Ultra Beasts were already in a fucking. There's already an argument about an Ultra Beast.
Yes, I think the consensus was that they weren't as of Ultra Sun and Moon. They aren't legendaries because you can catch infinite.
Most of them.
Most of them.
I mean, I think they're no longer internally classified.
I think they're either just counted as regular Pokemon or they have their own classification.
Yeah, it's like think in Gen 7 they were internally classified. I just sub-legendaries.
Which again, I'm willing to chalk that up to not knowing how to handle like a weird fucking gimmick set of Pokemon with high BSTs that don't really fit the criteria for legendaries. And they seem to have figured that out pretty quick with Paradox Pokemon on 2 gens later.
Yeah, they're just their own. They're just their own. They're just their own category. Simple thing there is those can't breed.
And
those ones
you
can't.
see, legendaries and Ultra Beasts are clearly defined. Ultra Beasts are any Pokemon consist of Generation 7 Ox legendaries and any Pokemon with the ability Beast Boost. While Paradox Pokemon consist of Pokemon on that Ultra Beast East and Paradox Pokemon are defined canonically.
Yeah.
There's an in-universe definition for what they are. Or Koraidon and Miraidon are both legendaries and Paradox Pokemon because they originate from on the same place as every other Paradox Pokemon. Even if they're even if they're sort of even if they're also they have an elevated status. Yes, and meanwhile, Solgaleo and Lunala are considered Ultra Beasts. But their legendary classification takes precedent. Because they're also also creatures of legend. And though in universe they are from Ultra Space.
Yeah, same goes for Necrozma.
Same with Necrozma. Now, so these guys can be counted as Ultra Beast. They're just different because they're also classified as legendaries. It's like, I don't know, man. At this point, it's just all arbitrary. Yeah. Like, at this point, genuinely, like with Mythicals, a legendary is just whatever her Game Freak and the Pokemon Company say are legendary.
Yep, Game Freak and their marketing team.
You know, whatever the marketing team says is a legendary.
Yeah. Dick.
So
I think that's
a good place to call it.
Oh, we're and with that,
and that concludes Pokemon.
Yeah, I know. We said we'd. Yeah, I remember we said like about 3.5 years ago.
That we'd never do another marathon.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, we said we'd probably never do that again.
Yeah, well, we ended up doing that again.
So who fucking knows?
Who knows at this point?
I
Maybe someday we'll do more or stuff like this. Probably not for a long time.
It's just, this was more just an excuse to like do a bunch of, yeah, more again like with Listmas. If this was just an excuse to is to talk about some tier lists I had sitting around under really specific topics. X. Now, we probably won't be. We may or may not have any uploads in March.
Currently,
I don't think we have any.
Currently, we don't have anything explicitly planned for March. That's
We,
not to say there will absolutely not be anything then.
And
we just haven't thought of anything yet.
For this time we do have an April Fool's
video idea. So
it's a very fun one.
On relating to some personal history of ours and our fanons again.
And that's all we'll say.
That's all we'll say for now.
But all right. She'll excuse us.
We've got a whole month to chill out for.
All right.
What?
Have a relaxing vacation.
Oh, right, yeah.
The postcard. Yeah. So yeah, that means said. I'm Nozeran.
And I'm Amaray. And
bonjour,
bonjour, my wonderful viewers.
See
See you in the next video.
Yeet.